Hello friends, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It's time for our weekly Sat Chat. How is your week going? How's your weekend? Oh, I hope you're having a good time. It's a long holiday weekend in the United States. I'm not sure if it is in other parts of the world. I know sometimes other countries will coordinate holidays so that, especially international companies, so that everybody has the same long weekends, and that way they don't have like half of their employees in the office in one country and the other ones out in another country. So if you have a long weekend, I hope you have something fun to do. It's been a pretty laid-back week for me. Lila passed her driving test, which I was so thankful for. She got a different test administrator person, which was so much more relaxing. She could have passed it the first time, but she got it, and I'm feeling a sense of relief and also another sense of anxiety because now all three of my teenagers are driving, so that's a little nerve-wracking. But you know, but they gotta learn. They gotta get out there. They gotta take those steps towards adulthood. So that happened this week. That was great. That was actually Wednesday morning. She had an 8 a.m. test, and it was funny because as we were leaving, we saw two other kids that she had gone to school with. One she went to grade school with, who went to a different high school, and another kid from her school that were there to take the test as well. So hopefully they had good luck. I think one of them passed. I'm not sure if they both did or not, but yeah, I just want these kids to be safe on the road and have a good summer. So that's where I'm at. So that day, Wednesday, I had the 8 a.m. appointment, so I was up and out the door early, dog walked early, and I had a big gap of time, and it was an 85-degree day, which is so rare. It's like, I don't know if it was a record high, but it must have been pretty close because we don't get weather like that this time of year. It's usually not until like end of June, maybe into July, that we get like 80-degree days, and they're not, right, we usually are in the 70s in the summer here in Maine. It's rarely like too hot. And well, I say that, other people disagree with me, but I say that anyway. So it was actually kind of nice that I had this big spans of time in the middle of the day that I actually went outside and read for a while. I did bring some watercolors outside to use, but I actually didn't use them because I was just enjoying my book so much. I'm reading Where the Crawdads Sing, which you guys were all like, you gotta read that one. When I told you the 3 that I checked out from the library, I'm loving it. I'm probably 3/4 of the way through, so, and I recommend it. I already recommend it, even if the rest of the book is awful. I mean, yeah, it's been very enjoyable to read. So so that was good. So anyway, and then I'm like, I was waiting. The reason I had a big chunk of time is because I didn't want to set up and do something different in my filming room because I had a live class on the Michaels website that I had to be ready for at 3:30, and so I didn't want to get going on some big messy project, then have to clean that all up and then prepare for the live stream. So I ended up vacuuming and mopping my floors. I get very energetic when the weather's hot because it's just, I don't know, it's just easier for me to move around and do stuff. I'm just more energized when the weather's hot. I don't know why. A lot of people prefer cooler temperatures, but not me. Cooler temperatures kind of like slow me down. Like, I don't know, like you know how batteries get kind of like slow and dead in the winter? That's how I feel. Like the cold weather just saps my energy like a rechargeable battery, I guess, and the sun just recharges me. So anyway, I did the Michaels class. It went really well. I started off and I was kind of nervous and I was talking too fast, and they're like, Lindsay, you gotta slow down. You gotta slow down. This isn't gonna fly at Michaels. They'll never have you back. Slow down. You know, so this is my inner monologue. So I centered myself, calmed myself, and did the class. I was right on pretty much on the nose for about an hour, because they said I could go 45 minutes to an hour and 15. Ideally, an hour and 30 minutes would have been like max. So I really wanted to hit close to that 1 hour mark as possible. And it was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I hope they have me back. So please go watch the class. It's a free class on the Michaels. They put it on their YouTube channel, so if you go watch it and thumbs it up, I don't think you can leave comments over there, but maybe that will encourage them to hire me back, because I would love to do it again. I had really a great positive experience, and plus I just love Derwent. So I mean, to work with Michaels and Derwent was pretty flippin' amazing. So I'm hoping they will have me back. Oh, I posted the video this week about cleaning the crafty hoard room. And hoard, make sure I pronounce that D. Crafty hoard. It was fairly well organized, but I had a few drawers of just kind of like random stamping supplies and, you know, tools, you know, just stuff that was like, yeah, you need to like sort some of that stuff out, because when you have to go through a few drawers to find the thing you're looking for, it just wastes time and it's aggravating. And I didn't have labels on anything, and since I'm not working in there all the time like I used to, because that was the old craft room, I'm not just intuition, I just not like intuitively reaching for like that stamp binder with my vintage sewing supply stamps, or that binder with my vintage Victorian era stamp. You know, I just have so many categories of stamps and different things like that, and I had blue labels with black writing on blue binders, so I didn't want to see the labels like screaming out at me. But now that I'm not working in there, I kind of want those labels screaming out at me so I can find my stuff really quickly. And I used a bunch of chalkboard labels that I had kicking around, so I was glad to. I love using stuff up. You know, when you use up a package of something, don't you feel like a virtuous, like, yes, that I have been holding on to that for 5 years and I finally used it. I win the day, you know. And I know I've got a Rosie the Riveter look going on. I am fully vaccinated as of yesterday, so I am so glad for that, and I'm so glad my kids are fully vaccinated, because guess what happened this week? Got a phone call from the school. Actually, I got an email from the school. Got a phone call from my husband to check my email. And softball team, varsity softball team, wiped out because somebody tested positive. And the only girls that were fully vaccinated were my 2 girls and the catcher. So they got a pitcher, a catcher, and a second base woman, and that's it. So it's like the rest of the team is in quarantine for 10 days. So I don't know. Those 3 girls have gone and practiced with a coach who was also fully vaccinated. And so they've been practicing, but I don't know if they're going to have them play for some of the junior varsity games, because there's like a handful of junior varsity players that will come up to the varsity games and play in some of those games, or be backups for some of those games. So there's probably a handful of girls that are quarantined from the JV team. So I don't know if they're going to, you know, have those varsity have my girls and the catcher go down to junior varsity and play a few games or what, but they're out of commission for a few days because of that. So that's really kind of a bummer, being so close to the end of the year. But luckily, I think they've won enough games that they are going to be in the playoffs or tournaments or whatever that is. They've qualified for that, I guess. So at least they will be able to play some more softball. But it was just like, I was just like, oh, I'm so glad they're vaccinated, because these kids are missing out on their last couple weeks of school and all of that. And you know, some of the girls weren't old enough to get the vaccine and be fully vaccinated, because it would, you know, only have been kids that were over 16 that could have had the chance to get the 2 shots and be fully vaccinated. So yeah, that just cut that season. Well, it didn't really cut it short because they will be able to come back. But man, that was like Jackson had a close contact with somebody and missed a couple weeks of tennis. And the whole tennis season, because the way tennis goes, it's kind of interesting. The kids play each other within the team to qualify for their ranking, and then the top 3 players play singles tennis, and then the next 4 or 6 players, I guess next 6 players play doubles. And so Jackson is a second ranked player in the team, so he would play the second ranked player from another team, but then the first ranked player had been quarantined, so he was playing the first place, and the third place was up to the second place, and they took the fourth place up to the third place. So I mean, it's been like a constant shuffle of kids, and at one point both the first and second place players were out on quarantine, and it's been crazy. And I'm sure it's happening in every single school, so it's no disadvantage to anybody's school because it's happening everywhere. But it's just I'm glad they can play. It's been such a wild ride, but I'm glad they were vaccinated, and that's just crazy. But so what's new? So you guys had mentioned my bandana. I love to wear bandanas in the summer, keep my hair back. And I was at the Dollar Tree because through Tuesday night, I was taking Lila around to practice her driving. We practiced on Monday and Tuesday. And actually we practiced on Monday because I didn't think we were going to have time to practice on Tuesday because they were supposed to have a game in Bar Harbor. But since that's when we got the notification that the game's off in quarantine, I'm like, well, we got more chance to practice. So we went out and we drove around, and she picked out her prom shoes because I got to hem prom dresses this weekend. That's definitely something I've got to get done. So we drove around, she got some extra practice in, and there was you have to do a 50-foot back up on the test, so you have to drive backwards 50 feet, and that was what was always getting her with the other driver test administrator, because that driver was like, if she glanced at her mirror, she would take a point off and say, nope, you know, you're done. And so like this time when she had her last test, she said, the lady asked if she had any questions. She was, yeah, am I limited to how many times I can look in the rearview mirror? And she said, nope, just don't rely on them. So then she just automatically relaxed, and the 50-foot backup was absolutely fine. But anyways, we were practicing out by the, there's a little strip mall with a Dollar Tree in it, because there was a nice long stretch, like a fire lane with a curb, so she could back up, and all the other businesses were closed because at this point it was after 8 o'clock. And oh, by the way, if you guys are in Maine, Martin's has awesome prom shoes right now. Just saying, or formal shoes if you're looking for cute, sparkly formal shoes. But anyway, so she was backing up and stuff. I'm like, oh, I want to run into the Dollar Tree to see if they have. I don't even know what. I was just probably just nosy. I don't think I needed. You know what I needed, I didn't get? What I was looking for was a Lazy Susan, because remember the colored pencil project I was telling you that I want to do the little rotating pencil cup thing? I was looking for a cheap Lazy Susan, and I've heard that Dollar Tree carries them. And I've been to it every time I'm near one. I kind of pop in to see, because I have even another one of those little protein powder little cup supplement cup things. So anyway, I was looking for a Lazy Susan, didn't find it, but I found this really cute headband. Isn't that adorable? And I got this one, this is just a scarf. This is a headband, like it's got a hard plastic headband underneath, so you just got to put it on your head. And then this one has like polka dots on it. I'm loving the 60s vibe. I totally need a convertible to like put my big sunglasses on, which I also purchased at the Dollar Tree, to be honest. You know, because I'm just so, look at this. It kind of looks like the Wonder Bread pattern, but isn't that cute? Okay, picture if you will. Okay, my convertible, big Jackie O glasses, cruising down the highway, having my midlife crisis. Isn't it fabulous? Isn't that fabulous? Well, anyway, Dollar Tree friends, this is what the tag looks like. It's in the section where they have all like the hair ties and elastics and scrunchies and hairbrushes. It says, juncture. When you're at that juncture of youth and old age and you want to have your midlife crisis, these are the scarves for you. Dollar Tree should hire me. They're probably going to send me a cease and desist letter. Please do not refer to shopping in our stores anymore. We do not want to be associated with the Frugal Crafter. And I got these stickers because they had restocked the stickers. They had a ton of stickers, and I thought, well, I could buy stickers, but I'm like, if I'm buying those stickers, it would just be to show them off in a video for a haul. I'd actually use these stickers. And then I had my phone out, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I can just do like some video. For whatever reason, I could not figure it out. I couldn't figure it's a fairly new phone. I don't use my phone for my YouTube videos, so it wasn't natural. So and I felt like a kind of a weirdo, so I didn't do it. But yeah, that was exciting. So what else? Oh, this is going to be up on Sketchbook Sunday. I did not do a narrated version for Critique Club. This is just a Sketchbook Sunday one only. We just did Spools and Critique Club anyway, so I figured, you know, that actually did that a while back for the with Holbein pencils, just as one of my just kind of testing the pencils out. And let's see what else. I've got a list here. Oh gosh, you got any tips on hemming prom dresses? Please let me know in the comments below. I think I'm going to do. If the dress, I have to look at the dresses. If they have lining, what I'm going to do is the lining on the machine. And I think I need to use a ball end needle. I know I have plenty of sewing needles, machine needles. So I think what I'm going to do is hem the lining and then see how that looks. And if it doesn't look perfect, then I will do the outer dress. I'll do it by hand. Maisie's dress has, the material's a little thicker, a little more structured, and it has like this stiff band at the front. Like I would say that if you were to like look at the big skirt, it'd be the front side of the skirt, the front end. They're both floor length gowns, and it's got this kind of stiff band on it. So I'm thinking I'll just kind of roll it up like twice, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of taper there. I think I could just roll it up twice and not have any puckers, and then do like a blind hem on that. I don't think I'll be able to do that one by machine at all. But with Lila's, it's a little bit more silky. So I think I might have to trim it. I might have to do like do a rolled hem, like, and actually trim some material off, which I really don't want to trim any material off. I'd rather just like iron it up and just, you know, stitch it. I'd rather stitch it on the machine, but I think I might have to do a blind hem by hand. And I have no idea what kind of time that's going to take. It's probably going to be, I think what I'm going to do it upstairs. I'm going to, you know, find a good movie to watch and do it that way, because I don't want to rush it. And I definitely have to take my time with hand sewing, because I'm not that skilled or that used to hand sewing. I'm definitely more of a machine sewing person, and I just want it to look good. But I've got plenty of thread to match and all that, so it should be all right. And let's see. Oh my gosh, you guys. If you watched the craft room video, so you know the tables that I was trying to stack up on top of my table, you know, that my husband didn't like the idea of. So you guys, oh my word, I was no fewer than a dozen of you guys suggested that I take the top table and I flip it upside down and I put that on the bottom table to clear the outlet in there. So you have to watch that video if you know, if you haven't seen it, this isn't going to make any sense, but if you watch the video, you're going to know what I'm talking about. So I was so bummed, I was so irritated that I had these two end tables that were kind of like little bookshelves, and I was going to stack them on top of each other, replace this DVD, like DVD stand that I had marker cases on, because I wanted a little more depth, I wanted more usable space. I didn't feel like it was really a great use of the space, but it was what I had. I was just using what I had, and I thought this will be better, it'll be more space. The downside is the two little bookcase end table things I was going to use were heavier than, like, one of those is heavier than the DVD rack that I have up there now. And then I was going to put two of them and I was going to stack them up. And Jason was worried they were going to fall down on me when I was sewing, because my sewing machine is right in front of there, and he thought the jiggling, the vibration from the sewing machine would you know, get him to jiggle loose. I said, I'm going to use shelf liner that I got at the Dollar Tree to put under the legs, so not a big deal. And then, so I get it all, I measured, I'm like, I got plenty of room here, this is great. I measured it, but I didn't account for a wall outlet that actually jutted out from the wall. And so I go to stack those up, and they, like, literally 1/8 of an inch, like, the wall outlet was too far over, so I couldn't scooch it up against the wall. And so I thought, oh, I'm going to shove down my cubes that are on top of the table already. I have like a 9 cube unit there, which is already dangling off the edge of my table, by the way. Let's just so picture, if you will, several people compared it to the Weasley's house over there in this crafty storage area, which, hey, it totally is, and I'm totally not offended. But then I realized that 9 cube storage thing is only pushed off my table that far and not all the way up to the wall, because there's an outlet there as well. So I was just so frustrated when all of these when I realized all of these things, and so I just ended up putting the DVD rack back, putting my markers back on it, just moving on with life. And so many of you guys suggested flipping one of the tables upside down so it would clear the outlet. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? And I'm saying that out loud. Jason just gives me this look like, what kind of crazy are you people? You know, stop it. He's like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna reply to these people and tell them to stop encouraging you. And so then there were a lot of helpful suggestions of what to do with those shelves. And another person said, put something underneath the legs of those shelves so that they're up higher and they clear the outlet. I'm like, oh, I could have done that. Jason's like, no, don't do that. You can't. That's gonna fall. That's worse. And then somebody else suggested, why don't you have Mr. Frugal kind of notch out of the table so that it will scoot in there just fine. And he goes, I am not ruining those tables to fit into that space. He goes, you need to tell them to mind their own business. I'm gonna open an account and I'm gonna go in there and tell everybody mind their own business. I'm like, hey, that is their business. I've invited them in for helpful hints and suggestions, and I think they've come up with some doozies. And if I wasn't lazy, I would go over there and I would try the upside down table thing at least to see if that worked, because that would be kind of awesome. Although I have to say though, after lifting those tables to put them up there and feeling how heavy they are, I was like, oh, they are kind of a little bit heavy, and that's probably not a great idea. So anyway, don't tell him that. Don't tell him that I didn't think it was a great idea. Yeah, he doesn't need to know that. Ladies, that's between you and I. And well, I don't want to be, I know there's some gentlemen that watch this too, so there you go. Don't tell your wives what to do. It doesn't work out well. This was interesting. I think it's interesting anyways. Okay, can you put your palms to your shoulders? Can you do that? Try it. So apparently not many people can touch their hands to their shoulders, their own shoulders. And because like Lila had mentioned it to me, because she had seen something on TikTok, I guess, and she said, can you touch your shoulder with your palm? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Can everybody? And then like Jason tried it, his hands were up here. Maisie tried it, her hands were up here. Jackson couldn't do it either. And I'm like, what? That is so weird. So of course I started Googling like palms to shoulders and saw it was some TikTok challenge. But I'm like, look at that. I have a special talent. I've got a hidden talent, guys. I can touch my palms to my shoulders. I have no idea where this will come in handy, but I can do it. So give it a try. Let me know in the comments below. Can you touch your palms to your shoulders? I think that's fascinating. And I couldn't find any like scientific information about this, of why you should be able to or shouldn't be able to. The only thing I could find was like a YouTube clip from Dr. Oz saying that it's just a flexibility thing. Some people can do it, some people can't. But you know, Lila's got pretty good muscles and she could do it. Maisie's got big muscles too, like arm muscles, and she couldn't do it. So I don't know. I thought maybe it was like a man and a woman thing. Like maybe women can do it and men can't. But no, I guess not. I guess it's just a flexibility thing. But I thought that was really interesting. So let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see what percentage of us can. And well, I probably would know if you're, you know, I was just thinking, I wonder, I don't have a very high percentage of male viewers. So I'm just assume it's probably, I couldn't do a scientific study because I don't have a random assortment of people. It's very unrandom. It's very specific. It's a niche channel. What else? I actually put some lists here. I totally would have forgot to mention the palm to shoulder challenge thing. Oh, I got it. I did get a new set of watercolors to review, and I should have brought it down here to show you, but it's actually upstairs because I had brought it outside and got distracted by my book, but I was going to use that outside, and I'm going to actually, because I found a sketchbook that I got it at Fiddleheads a couple of years ago, and it's one of the handbook ones, and they look kind of like the cloth bound Arteza ones, but the paper's different. I never really liked the handbook paper, but Denise Soden over at In Liquid Color said that that's like one of her favorite papers or favorite sketchbooks. I'm like, oh, I gotta give that another try then, because, you know, maybe I just dismissed it too quickly. But anyway, the thing I really liked about the sketchbook was that it is really long and skinny. It's like, I think it's probably, I have a ruler. Oh, I do. I got another Dollar Tree find. It's probably like, it's probably like 3x9, 4x9. It's, or maybe it's 4x8. I'm thinking it's about yay long, and probably maybe 3.5 or 4 inches tall. And then of course, if you open that up, then you've got a humongous long panorama. So I just thought that was such a unique size. And the novelty watercolor set is kind of like a cell phone, and it comes in a velvet bag. And actually that bag is about the same size. I can't fit the palette and the sketchbook in the bag together. However, I can carry them easily together because they're the same size, so I can just like carry it in my hand. But I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to practice on. So I'll have a few little paintings done in there before I show it to you guys. Maybe the review won't be until mid-June because I'm kind of booked up on reviews that I've already recorded. But it's really cute, and maybe I'll show it to you next week. I'll link to it so you can see what I'm talking about if you want to. It's kind of neat. It's another one of those the same type of paint that's in the fan palettes, which I like. I like that type of paint. It's just in a different kind of iteration. It's got a bigger mixing area, which I like. So yeah, so I'm gonna give it a try and just make sure that the paint's the same. I think it is. It looks to be same numbers, same everything. And fun. So it'll be a nice little summer palette. I did some painting in the kayak last week, but I didn't like flipping through so many of the, because I brought my color sheets, which are like those, it's like a booklet, and you've got like 2 colors on a page, so you gotta keep flipping through to get your color, and it was very awkward. So something where I could have all my paints out, like either my portable painter, which I kind of damaged last summer, or actually the dog damaged, because I was sitting on a blanket next to the pond painting, and the dog just kind of barreling through, and she like stepped on my palette and bent the, there's these little, a little slot on the side, these little tabs that come out to hold these 2 water cups on the side of the palette, and bent them, so it actually broke some of them, and so I super glued them. They were kind of like, they were broke, but they were just kind of hanging by a thread, kind of like when you're a kid and you lose a tooth and it's just kind of like hanging from a thread and you're just kind of wiggling it with your tongue. That's kind of like how that was. And so I was like, I super glued it or Gorilla glued it, and I think it's okay, but it's not quite as sturdy, and I'm kind of worried that it's going to break on me. But then my friend Marty Owens from Owens Art shared on Facebook a palette that another artist had made. Oh gosh, I can't remember. He posted it in the Underground Artists League Facebook group. Oh shoot, I wish I could. Rob Kittredge, maybe? That name is sticking in my brain. I think he might be the one that came up with the idea. Anyway, he took 2 square tins, they were Spam tins, and he clipped them with little binder clips on the edge of a metal tin palette. So let me show you here. I've got a tin. I don't have any Spam cans here, but my husband did pick up Spam at the grocery store last night because he actually likes Spam. So I'm gonna get the cans when he's done. So he clipped them with binder clips on each end, just like a portable painter of like a 12 color palette. So I'm like, well, that's genius, and I could use that with whatever little 12 color tin I have that I want to take out, so I'm not just limited to what I have in my portable painter. I do love the portable painter palette, but I'm like, I'm not going to spend another $30 on a palette if this one breaks. I really like it, but it's just like I have so many palettes, it's really hard to justify getting another one. It's hard to justify for paying for another one, I should say. God, ugh. you know. I have so many that I have because I've reviewed them, so it's just getting more is kind of insane, especially if I can clip 2 spam cans on the side of my current palette and have basically the same thing. A low rent version of the portable painter, friends. But hey, I like it. I think it's a cool idea. I love the recycling aspect. I wish I thought I could think of some sort of food that I would eat that came in a square tin, but I can't think of anything like that. I suppose you could probably use a round can, but the thing about the square tin that was so nice is that you wrap like a rag around your palette, right? And then you can slide that in, you can slide the tin on either side of the palette and then just kind of carry it like that. So that's what the portable painter does. It has a little clasp. So you put the 2 water buckets over the palette and you slide a little clasp across. Maybe I'll just buy another one of those. I don't know. But then again, Jason already bought spam, so I don't know. I have too much excess, but it sparks joy, so I can't get rid of it. What am I supposed to do? You know, I follow the KonMari principles, and if it sparks joy, you keep it, right? Okay. Oh, and something else happened that was really cool this week. I've actually kind of had some artistic burnout. I feel like I say this all the time. I'm always just like right on the edge of artistic burnout. I don't know what's wrong with me. But so I was working on actually this painting. I was working on this. No, not that. Oh, that was awful too. I was working on this, and it just wasn't coming out right. And I was recording a tutorial, narrated a tutorial at the time, and it just was not working. So I'm like, I need to take a break. I'm so frustrated. And I go upstairs, and we still have a landline because we are like, you know, Luddites. And because we like to waste money, let's face it, we all have cell phones, and we have this landline that we never really answer the phone because it's always like political callers or, you know, or nonprofits or, you know, it's always either scams or political stuff, pretty much. I don't say nonprofits or scams because I just don't trust anybody that calls you on the phone, really. But anyways, the phone rang, and I looked over at the little handheld phone, and it was dead. So I went to swap it out from the charger, and I recognized the name. It was a friend of mine that I used to work with years ago, and she called me up out of the blue. I haven't talked to her in a while, and she said she tried to reach out a couple times. In the past, she tried to reach out through a publishing house that I had illustrated through, and they said they contacted me, and I wasn't interested in her project, but they never did. And then she had emailed me, I guess, in January, but I missed it. It must have went to spam or something because I didn't see it. Well, anyways, she had written a children's book and wanted me to illustrate it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to take the job because it's a really big project, but I might. But I'm just so excited to reconnect with an old friend, and it was just at the right time when I was just feeling so blah, and I was just feeling like it's so hard to make friends as an adult, you know, and it was just like at the right time. So so that was a really neat thing that happened. Oh, and one other thing I want to share is a really funny video, and I will link it down below, and it's to the tune of Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's Menopause Rhapsody, and it's so freaking funny that if you're starting to get to a certain age in life, you will laugh your butt off. You'll laugh till you pee, which is something you might have to be dealing with at a certain age. So, well, there you have it. I think that's Sat Chat for today. My camera's gonna run out of juice here in a second. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.